Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside DAWG.
Mike, it's good to see you again. We haven't recorded in a minute. A lot going on. Happy Trump Inauguration Day. Are you excited about all the things?
It's a big day. Has it ever landed on MLK Day as well? Or is this just like a...
Martin Luther probably not happy about the landing on his day, I would guess.
And it's weird they moved it inside. I felt like it was definitely a Trump thing. It seems like he just wanted to make it seem like it was really full because it's a small space.
Crowd size is a Trump thing. We've seen this before. I saw a meme yesterday where they set up 100,000 seats on the Washington lawn, but they're not being used. So like someone has to go and take them all down now. That's so many seats. Mike, I can confirm here from the Northeast, it's cold and snowy and icy. You don't want to be outside today. So I think it's okay that they moved it inside. How about all the tech executives front row? It's like they're all in the cabinet now. Zuck, his new look and everything.
Zuck removed pronouns from Facebook, and now he's just on Trump's panel, I guess. He's just hanging out with Elon and the Google
Bezos,
CEOs there.
Yeah, Google. It's crazy. Did we see Tim Cook? Is Apple involved in this, or are they staying out?
You know, he doesn't have a social network, so it's just like devices.
Right.
So he's
it's all about communication, controlling the messaging, canceling mainstream media.
Yes.
All of that. Before we go too far, Mike, we talk about local issues a lot of times. We did not record last week. There were fires in LA, terrible situation. You're still in LA. Obviously, I left beforehand. I knew this was going to come one day.
Yeah, you knew.
I knew the big quake was coming. I knew the big fire was coming. I knew more bad things are going to come to LA most likely. But tell us about the scene in LA since this terrible thing happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird event. Wednesday night or whatever, Tuesday night, our house was shaking from the winds. This is not, I don't know if people understand like how hard the winds were. They were 100-mile-per-hour winds. It was like an actual hurricane, which is great because last year we had a lot of rain and a lot of stuff grew and then a lot of stuff burned after that. And it was not fun. You woke up in a cloud of like haze and ash everywhere. It was really, really weird. At first, didn't think like, oh yeah, we don't need to go anywhere. But the air quality was bad. I was getting headaches. I was coughing. I'm still like weirdly sick from it, I think.
Oh no, is like all of LA going to be weirdly sick from this?
Probably because they keep saying there's like asbestos in the old homes, which was just in the air, and we were all outside breathing it. So we had to get like things. We evacuated just to get a little bit of better air. So not a great week. And yeah, we talked before, you know, my dog died over the weekend too, and that took me out. I was not able to do anything. He was, you know, with me for 15 years and I'm going to get sad again, but it's
Mike,
not fun.
You're going there on the pod. So it's a really tough week for Mike. He evacuated and then that happens and it's really unfair. And then to top it all off, TikTok shut down for a few hours and that was just the final nail. Mike really was upset about everything going on, as you should be. And we pay homage to James on this show. We have for 15 years. He was born the same year as the Sports Hangover. Is that correct?
Yeah, around the same time. Yeah, I got him when I first moved to LA, and just he lived in a house with me and two other dudes. Yeah, it was
the only
good time.
person or thing that has a longer legacy than me and Mike on the Sports Hangover is James the dog, who lasted a great 15 years.
Yeah.
And then the fire, just a terrible scene in LA, catastrophic images. We, of course, joke about all the things on this show, but not about LA fires because this one hit really close to home. For you, I've been shaken up about it even across the country after spending time there. We love the Palisades.
We do.
We love
car wash.
Pasadena, Altadena. The car wash is gone. Erewhon is not, thanks to Rick Caruso. There's a whole political debate to get into here that we won't on this particular podcast. Maybe in our slow off season we will.
I will say it does feel like it seems like Rick Caruso knew what was going on and had fire trucks ready for his village, and the mayor was just like in Africa. So I will say maybe she shouldn't be around anymore. We should probably get Rick in.
That's a common thing from a lot of LA people. It might be tough to get rid of her in the middle of this catastrophe, which continues. You're having more big wins this week, and so hopefully there's no more fires pop up. We'll see if she can survive much longer than this. You're right. Rick Caruso was kind of on top of this. Mike, my main point on the fires, not knowing who exactly to assign blame to, is this should have never happened. I know the winds were crazy. I know the drought conditions were crazy. I know all the things were crazy. This should never happen. California is the 5th largest GDP of any state or country in the world. They have the resources, and you saw it last week. Once they knew all the damage that could be done, they had resources to shut down any other fires last week. This was a horrible fail across the board, and I just want to say that this should never happen. These are some of the most beautiful areas in our country, in the world, some of the best looking houses and views in the world. This should not have happened in America.
I agree.
I'm pissed off about it. I don't live in LA anymore. I know the ramifications of this in LA are long lasting and far lasting for years to come, and I am pissed that this was allowed to happen in a place that I love.
And I think a lot of people don't understand like the scale of how much it is a massive, massive like area that burned down. Like both in Pasadena, the Eaton Fire, and the Palisades, like those together are massive amounts of like property burned. I think it's like 2 Manhattans or something like that. It's just an enormous amount. And it's also homes. It's not just like the forest. It's also a lot of homes were burned. It's insane, and I haven't seen it yet. People say it looks like a bomb was just dropped on the area and everything is just like wiped out, which is insane.
I can't believe LA has that. I mean, you think about Hiroshima and nuclear bombs, and you're like, we just talked about on our year-end show about fallout and a bomb falling on LA and how crazy a show like that was. That essentially just happened in two of the biggest cities and areas of LA. And so our thoughts are with you and everyone in LA going forward. Hope the air quality improves. Hope people don't get sick. I don't know where 10,000 families are supposed to like go while their homes are rebuilt. It's going to like mess up the LA rent pricing. Yeah. And it's going to mess up the economy. It's going to mess up so many things, even well into the future. So I don't know where we go from there in LA. Are you going to stay in LA? Are you going to leave for a few years?
Listen, there was conversations like, should we just get out of here? Like, what's going on? It does seem a little scary. Houses, like, our house is just built out of wood. Like, there's no, if a fire comes,
you got some brush right behind you on the river there.
I just don't think we're not in a fire zone. We don't have fire insurance but it is crazy. So I don't really know. I kept thinking like, oh my God, if the house burned down, like, do you pay your mortgage? Like, do they give you like a moratorium to like not pay? Like, how does that work? Like,
apparently all these people have to pay their mortgage. That seems wrong.
Well, it seems crazy. It's like, how does insurance work? Insurance is leaving the state. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, it's definitely scary and makes you think like, damn, like I need to live in like a concrete bunker or something just to like withstand everything happening. I don't know.
But in this era of climate change, nowhere is safe. The raging fires of California, the Category 5 hurricanes in Florida. I'm getting 20 degrees daily for a month here. It's been wind chills negative below zero. There's nowhere to go in America, at least. I don't know.
I don't know either, but at least we got to watch some football over the weekend. We can talk about that. Let's talk about Magic Mind, because that definitely helped me over the week. I was taking Magic Mind. Nice. Little, when you're on the run, it's like literally the best thing to take. Mind is just, we've been taking it for a long time. I've known about it for years. I love it. I got a whole case back here. They have a new sleep elixir as well, which is also great. You get 45% off. Use the code TSHJAN. It will be in our description as well. So if you want to get that, DAWG, I got to send you some of the sleep stuff. They didn't ship it to you, but you got to try it out. It might help you sleep.
Mike, I've never been a good sleeper. I use my own performance enhancers for that. So the sleep performance shot might be a natural way for me to sleep a little better. I was just thinking about that awful week you had last week and all the things going on. You're also the head of household. You have a son, you have a wife, you have a family. Magic Mind brings you this calm energy, and that's what I love about it. It's crash-free energy, puts you in control. Mike was so stressed last week, but he's still making decisions to help his family. It gives you focus, cognition, all the things you need to get through your day, your week, stressful times, Mondays. Today's a holiday for me, Mike, but there's a lot going on. I still took Magic Mind today on a Monday. It still gets my week started, get your year started. Check it out today with the promo code that's in our description.
Usually you're not even awake on holidays. You say there's no shows on holidays and you're up doing a show.
It's true. Magic Mind, changing my schedule, my routine, all of that stuff. I love it. All right, Mike, you talked about the NFL playoffs, and it was a great distraction for everyone in LA, hopefully, over this weekend. Of course, the Rams didn't pull through. Where do you want to start? What was like your biggest takeaway of all the football?
I think I'm going to stop doing same game parlays. I missed a lot of same game parlays this weekend.
SGPs were hot like 3 shows ago.
Yeah, they're not hot right now. I've been hitting more. Like I hit a tease. I hit some just money lines with Washington. I will say our playoff pool, you're doing great. You got most of the teams left. I have one team left. And
that's right. That's right. You have the team that wins the Super Bowl every year, so you probably aren't sweating yet. I was going to ask you if you're even worried about it.
I'm not worried about it. I regret not taking Washington because I did bet them money line. I was like, this is definitely a spot they fail here.
We disagreed a few weeks ago. I took them against the Bucks straight up in a game they were road dogs on, and you were like, "Nah, that's not happening." Just to go back to
I
that.
still think the Bucks should have won that game. That was a great game.
Close game.
I don't know if Washington is that good or just Jaden Daniels is really that good, because no rookie has ever won a Super Bowl. Now, there's been maybe rookies there, a few of them, but no rookie's ever gone to the Super Bowl and won. So that kind of gives me a little more confidence in our pool here.
Yeah.
But he's
I
looking
don't think
good.
it's going to happen again. I mean, he can beat Jalen Hurts. He can't beat Josh Allen or Mahomes, you would think. But he's been playing incredible.
You never
Like,
know.
you watch that Lions game against the Commanders, and Daniels was by far the best player on the field the whole game. He outplayed Goff. He outplayed the Lions' skill position. It's really special what he's doing, and I give him a great chance to beat the Eagles on the road, especially because they're division foes, and they've seen each other twice already.
And it does seem like something's a little wrong with Jalen Hurts' like running ability. Something happened. I don't know if he can actually run. Obviously, Saquon's there, so I don't think it's that big of a issue for him. But I do think, like, I don't know. I don't like the Eagles. I don't like how they play. I know it was snowing. It was a great game to watch. A lot of snow. Like, random things happening, fumbles. If you like a mess of a game, that was a game to watch. And I was in my
surprised the Rams and Stafford and Puka could like throw the ball that well in the snow.
Yeah.
It's like, if you make it look this easy, my guy Tua can't complete a pass in cold weather. You guys have like running wide open. Like, how does this work? I want some.
I know he was just slinging the ball, but you could tell like the ball must have been just so frozen that sometimes when they would just grab it, it would just like fall.
Yeah, and the fumbles too. That was a good one. The two teams yesterday that won, the Eagles and the Bills, the home teams, they did not inspire a ton of confidence for me to bet on them this coming week. And long term, I do like the Bills over the Chiefs. I'll probably be taking them. But both teams gave the ball back to Stafford and Lamar in the fourth quarter with a chance to lose the game and lose your whole season based on not finishing properly. And so I thought the Eagles and the Bills didn't finish properly in those games.
That Ravens game was weird because there was a lot of time left on the clock and they kind of just drove down the field and scored. It was like way too easy. They were giving them way too much room. It's like, why aren't you guys like giving them a little pressure or doing something or killing some more time? It seemed weird. And that 2-point conversion with Mark Andrews, if he caught it, the game was over. I mean, it's just...
No, the game, it would have tied. It would have gone to overtime, most likely. Yeah, so it would have kept going. He dropped it and it was over.
It just seems bad for Buffalo to let them just drive up and, whatever, I don't know, a minute and a half or something to possibly end the game or tie the game and go to overtime.
You bring up Mark Andrews. He used to be a proud member of the Baltimore Ravens. He dropped the 2-point conversion. He fumbled on a wide open play before that. There's a meme going around today where if he just cuts up field, he might like run 40 yards for a touchdown, but he tried to go like Tyreek around the corner for no reason. Mark Andrews is the GOAT of the Ravens season right now for those two errors. And I'm a little bit upset about it because I've had us take this year on the pod that Lamar is doing things, that Lamar might be heading to the Super Bowl, that Lamar can beat the NFC team he plays in the Super Bowl. And Lamar didn't play bad yesterday, Mike. I thought he had a few turnovers early in the game, which are uncharacteristic. He hasn't been doing that all season, of course. He tends to do that more in the playoffs. But it was his teammates that let him down, that didn't let him go on. And it wasn't the Bills. Josh Allen didn't play a great game. He didn't complete that many passes even. Didn't have that many passing yards. No one let down Josh Allen and the Bills. The Ravens let down Lamar. And so I'm kind of pissed that if Lamar was on a better team, a better situation like the Bills or the Chiefs, Lamar would be moving on right now and going to win that Super Bowl. Like, it's always people letting down Lamar. Why does this always happen?
First of all, Buffalo has nobody. You cannot name a wide receiver on that team. Buffalo, Josh is doing it all by himself. Lamar has Derrick Henry. He has a monster he is literally a monster. A guy that's like towers over multiple guys on that team. It seems like when the pressure's on, Lamar gets like a little antsy and like tries to do things that he doesn't do normally during the season. And I think that's his downfall. He's not ready for this scenario of game where the pressure's on. And you could kind of tell, like, he doesn't throw interceptions during the regular season because guess what? I don't think he cares if he wins or loses. But when he actually needs to win a game, he goes into like this weird mode where he's like, I got to make this play. And I think he thinks too much of this moment. And I think that's a problem. When look at Patrick Mahomes, ice cold, like, no emotion, just plays. And look at Kelsey. Kelsey looked great. Like he was playing great. And I just think Lamar does something with it with the playoffs. And we predicted this. I mean, I feel like I did, but I feel like every year this is what he does. So I don't know what else you can add to the team to give him more weapons. Like he has Derrick Henry and Lamar. Like just those two alone could win a game.
People that don't drop the ball when you're going into overtime, when
I
you
know,
run a
it's
perfect
cold.
2-point play. And that was only the first or the last mistake that Mark Andrews made. There were mistakes prior. Lamar didn't have a turnover in the second half. I know they were down early. He was making turnovers. This is his legacy, is that he's never going to be good enough to carry them to a Super Bowl or even win a Super Bowl. And it's kind of upsetting to me because I think he is that guy. He is good enough. People are letting him down. So this is a thing to look at for next year. Who's going to let Lamar down? Because he's going to have a great year. In the MVP discussion, they're going to get a home playoff game, and then someone's going to let him down in the playoffs.
Jeremy, this might just be like your Dak love. You know how you loved Dak for years and you kept saying he's a really good quarterback?
Sometimes I'm a little late to bail on these guys.
You just got to cut him off early.
Speaking of Dak, the Cowboys are going through it right now. The Cowboys and Jerry Jones and McCarthy, we thought they were sticking around, which was a bad story. And then they didn't get to interview any of the good candidates like Ben Johnson because they were keeping McCarthy. And then all of a sudden, McCarthy and Jerry couldn't agree on a contract, which is like code for something else like broke down. I don't know what that means because like they were going to work together again, but now they're not. And now Mike McCarthy might get hired by the Bears or the Saints, which you would love him coaching Caleb Williams and just continue contributing to the downfall of quarterbacks across the world. Then he would take out Rodgers, Dak, and Caleb, three of your hated ones.
That's what I wonder. Are people like blinded by it? Like he had Aaron Rodgers and they couldn't do anything. They couldn't win. And it's frustrating. Then you have Dak. It's like maybe Dak isn't an Aaron Rodgers, but still couldn't do anything. You couldn't really win. I don't know what the deal is. Like, don't hire him as your head coach. Like hire him as like some like OC something back there. You're like, you don't need him as a head coach.
Leave it to the Bears or the Saints, two terribly run organizations, to bring McCarthy in, tarnish some more offenses. I mean, his offense with the Cowboys, it's like, you know when you go into Madden and it's a new year and you're excited about the new playbook? Mike McCarthy's using the 2010 playbook in Madden. It's the same basic 4 plays, and that's all he's got. And CeeDee Lamb runs 4 routes a game. That's all he's got, when there's so much more out there. And like for a young quarterback to have the difference of a Ben Johnson who is calling great plays and designing things for Goff and making Goff better than he actually is, McCarthy makes quarterbacks worse than they actually are. It's the opposite.
So, all right, if you're Ben Johnson, the OC of Detroit, where do you want to go? Because it sounds like he's going to go to the Raiders. I don't know if I want to go to the Raiders. I don't know. I don't think anything's been happening good over there for a long time, and they're kind of starting pretty fresh this year.
Yeah, they're one of the teams that don't have a quarterback. They're one of the teams that don't have a top 2 pick in the draft. And they're in a division against Mahomes and Andy Reid. You're never even going to win your division. So you have to hope you're good enough to get a wild card. And that's like your best case scenario. Then you go on the road in the playoffs to Kansas City and lose like everyone does. I agree with you. It doesn't make sense that he's into the Raiders. I know Tom Brady is part of the interview process. We've talked at lengths on this show about how that's fucked up. That Brady was doing the Lions game the other night. He's like meeting with Ben Johnson to get the intel, but then he's also interviewing Ben Johnson to go coach a team that he owns. Why does no one think that this is a problem?
It's definitely a problem. Also, Tom Brady just said he's going to be there for he's going to fill out his contract. He's going to go through the 10 years. That man does not need to do the 10 years. I think he's done. I don't like his energy. We had him full blast. You could listen to his whole like broadcast. He was not good. And he needs to go. Just go do your Raiders thing, live in Vegas, have a good time. You know, just be the next, whoever who's the owner there again? I always forget his name.
Mark Davis, Al Davis.
Yeah. Al, Mark, whoever, just hang out with them. Like just be in the box, watch the game. You don't need to call the game. For
the record, it was Tom Brady's agent who said that he was going to finish the term of the deal, which actually makes a lot of sense when you figure the agent gets like maybe 10% of the contract. It might be getting like $3.7 million a year in this contract. So he might want that to continue. I'm not sure Brady said it. So we'll see if Brady still joins the Raiders full time at some point. But to answer your question on Ben Johnson, I don't know. The 3 teams he's rumored for are the Raiders, the Bears, and the Jags. Those are 3 fairly bad situations. Maybe the Jags with Trevor Lawrence is the best because of the division too.
I would probably say the Jags because I think the owner doesn't care. He's like, I want you to win. Ben Johnson could be GM / a head coach and get rid of Lawrence and clear house and just start fresh over there. I don't know if you have that much control over in Vegas. And the Bears, I'm not a fan of Caleb. I don't know if you can fix that. And like Caleb is just on his own. Like give him another 2 years. He can be Justin Fields and they'll trade him away to Pittsburgh or something.
We talked about it too on the show. How crazy that for 2 years in a row, every NFL decision maker got it wrong in the draft. And the second quarterback taken is so much better, clearly, on day one than the first quarterback taken. When you look at what Stroud did, I know he struggled at times this year. He still led them to this weekend of the NFL playoffs, which not many people did. And Daniels won on this weekend of the playoffs to keep going. It's so impressive, yet the first round picks have been terrible.
Do you think there's something to the news outlet and the cycle and the media pushing these agendas on a lot of people? Because like they'll come out and be like, this is the number one pick. Caleb is number one. And then the GM sees it's like, we got to get fucking Caleb. We need this guy in the building. I think if they didn't have any of that, it's just like, guys, after the season's over, we lock ourselves in this room. No one has social media. And we just do our own research. And maybe their board looks totally different from anybody else's because they're not getting input and feedback from somebody else. Because I love
that idea. Groupthink is such a dangerous thing, right? You, Mike, as a trendsetter, you go against the norm so often. I feel like you would be the one identifying the quarterback, but the rest of the room would be on Twitter and social media saying, nah, everyone's saying take Caleb Williams. We got to do it.
And it makes you question yourself. It's like, am I missing something? Because you see it with gambling. It's just like, I have too many inputs. I got to listen to one voice. And if I disagree, I'm going to go against them. And that's all I need. And I was off social media this week and it felt very nice. It felt like, kind of felt like you were free. It's like, I don't need to talk to anybody. I don't need to do anything. Felt really like old school, like maybe back in like middle school where you're just like, you're living your life. It was very weird.
Mike instituted his own TikTok ban before it went into effect. Are you going to come back or are you just going to stay off of TikTok now? Is it better for you?
Yeah, I'm going to come back.
They'll
be back. Hopefully somebody, I want Elon or somebody to buy it.
Elon's going to own 50% of it pretty soon, or Trump will, the government will, someone.
We'll see
I wanted to mention another team in this same category. I'm really upset with the Lions, obviously. They had a great season, then they just flail at the end. Dan Campbell, you got to win some big games at some point, or else you're just a big talker and a bad coach. Of course, you talked about the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy. There's one more team to put in this bucket, and I think you know where I'm going.
Where?
It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're embarrassing. They're actually an embarrassing NFL franchise at this point. That they went with Russell Wilson all year, never gave Justin Fields another shot, lost so many games due to bad offense at the end of the season. We'd watched them so many times, Mike.
I know.
It was like Christmas Day. It was a Saturday before that. It was the week after in a big game.
All the time.
And they lost all of those games.
Yeah.
They lost all of them. And now Mike Tomlin, who hasn't won a playoff game in like a decade at this point, is still not on the hot seat. What are we doing, Pittsburgh? Can you not look around and say something needs to be fixed here? It's not okay. And these proud franchises like the Lions and the Cowboys and the Steelers, they're waking up today on Trump Inauguration Day in the gutter. They're like having a worse mental day than Democrats because these three teams are in bad shape right now.
I think the issue with Pittsburgh is that they always do good enough and they always get a worse draft pick every year. So it's like they can't restock. They need a losing season, and I don't think Tomlin wants to do that. Tomlin figures it out. I feel like they get their defense up and ready. Their offense always struggles. They can't score a lot of points. I don't know what you do because you don't want to fire Tomlin because he's like good enough. So is it you have to get a super talent? Was Ben Roethlisberger like the most elite quarterback they've ever had at this point? I don't think so. But what was it about him that made them able to win at least something? But yeah, it's tough. I don't know what you do because you can't fire him. You're not going to trade him. They're like people are asking to trade.
Why can't Tomlin. You trade him? But why can't you and then go in with Ben Johnson and get a young quarterback and say this isn't working for us? We are the Pittsburgh Steelers. We win championships. We don't go 9-8. We win championships, and it's not good enough.
I think because the fans kind of love Tomlin. Like, how can you not love him? He's kind of just like he gets all these crazy dudes, has them play on the field, and then they leave, and then they start like CTE span, and they start fighting people, and then they just go off the rails. Like he is in control of that room more than any other head coach. Like
George Pickens was mouthing off quite a bit toward the end of the year. He was kind of running his mouth.
He's going to be traded. He's done.
He
needs
to be.
That man's
it's Tomlin
gone.
or Pickens. Someone needs traded. And you're right that Tomlin does control it well. I don't think Big Lou on the Hangover Hotline is calling in support of Mike Tomlin right now.
You don't think so?
I think Big Lou, and if Big Lou, you're listening, feel free to jump in on the Hangover Hotline. I think Big Lou wants Tomlin out and a fresh start. That's what I think Steeler fans want.
I think if that's what they want, I don't think it's going to happen. I think they just got to get some like new blood in there. Get somebody that like is one of those like assistant offensive coordinators. Bring them in with some new ideas. They've been playing Madden all their life. They know how to do whatever they're doing, or bring in some coach from like college. Do something. Listen, I've been playing NCAA. I'm on 2046 right now with my team.
The world lasts that long?
I'm in 2046. My team is doing great. I let the computer now just pick my players for me. I just play the games. I'm doing great. Like, you just need
How
a
many
great running
parades
back.
have you had in downtown Orlando for the UCF Knights?
We've won most of them. We've only I'm increasing the difficulty every year, so I'm in pretty hard difficulty right now. It's tough. It's a tough game to play, 20 years in.
I love that you play NCAA, but I'm going to ask you this question. I think I know the answer. Will you watch any of the Notre Dame-Ohio State National Football Championship game tonight?
It's tonight. Oh, it's Monday. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll probably watch a little. Who should I bet on?
Ohio State's been on a run. They have like an NFL roster, $20 million payroll. I think Ohio State will get it done.
What do you know what the spread is?
They're big. They have a big number. It might be 8 or so. No one respects Notre Dame. They've been fraudulent over the years.
But everybody likes that coach, right? They like that
They
Notre
like
Dame
Marcus
coach.
Freeman. The Bears like Marcus Freeman a lot, but they're not going to get him.
So it's 8.5. Wait, they got Notre Dame at 9.5. Okay, so it's pretty up there.
I mean, Ohio State's been blowing everyone out. They lost. So quick story. My dad's a big Ohio State fan. I go home for Thanksgiving. They play Michigan that weekend. They lose to Michigan. Michigan is unranked. Ohio State is ready to fire their coach and everything. I'm like, Dad, your team sucks. I dip out. Ohio State has won 3 games in a row to now be in the national championship game, and they're going to give their coach an extension, which shows you how quick we are to bail on people. But really, give them a chance to win.
So should I take the spread? Should I take them? Like,
I
is
like
Notre
Ohio
Dame
State
just
minus 8.5. They're going to win by 14-21.
All right, maybe I'll play an alternate line or something. Get him.
So I think the history of college football championship games are typically blowouts. Typically.
Okay. All right. Easy. I'll bet.
The
I'll
manifesto
watch
says
it.
it.
Do you want to talk about the games this weekend? We didn't really talk about. Did we talk about the matchups or the spreads or anything? We glanced.
I'm
over
excited
it.
for Bills Chiefs. We talked about Commanders Eagles. I'm going to take Commanders. Where are you on that one first?
If Jalen Hurts, if there's a report of him in a walking boot or some sort of like injury, I think I'm on Washington. I really like Washington. I had a great. Oh my God. The best prop bet ever over the weekend, and it missed because the man didn't score a touchdown. But I had Damian Brown,
He
Commander.
was on one. Yeah.
He was on one. 90 yards and an anytime touchdown would have paid me 300 to 1. It would have been 2,500 to 1. Would have paid me $50. Would have won me $1,200 on that bet.
You're kidding me. He
And I
got
was-
everything but a touchdown.
Yeah, I was. So
My
pissed.
God.
Yeah. So
Did he drop a touchdown? Did he get targeted? I feel like he had a situation.
He caught like a 40-yard bomb and ended like on the 2-yard line or something.
Oh my God.
I was
Mike.
watching Damian Brown. I don't know how to say that man's name, but I was watching him close. I'm like, where is he and why is he not getting the
Wow.
ball? But yeah, he
They
was.
threw it to
he's
Zach
like,
Ertz in the end zone late to win it, I think, instead.
yeah, so I don't think he's like he's got to be a guy that like gets it on like the 50-yard line and just runs all the way to a touchdown. He doesn't seem like
He almost
guy.
did. The Eagles have good corners. They drafted a bunch of rookies in the secondary for this season. They're all playing well. So you might want to fade that one this week. It might be Daniels on the ground. Maybe Daniels running it himself.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like a same game parlay. Maybe I almost did an alternate spread for the Washington game over the weekend, but I think maybe we do like an alt spread. Maybe you take Washington to like a -3.5 with Jaden Daniels 2 touchdown score or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I would. Because Jaden, he's running a lot.
He's running a lot, and they're going to run him more in the playoffs. Like, what if he gets hurt now? Like, it's not so bad as if he gets hurt week 2.
Yeah.
So run that man. It matters much more now. And then it's Chiefs and Bills. That's like what we live for. You watch all NFL season just to get to the moment when Allen and Mahomes square off, and it's going to be 3 glorious hours on Sunday.
I don't know if Kansas City should be favored. I know they're at home. I like the Bills. I like how they're playing. They already beat them this season? Didn't Bills?
I think they went to Kansas City. Or maybe it was
Yeah.
in Buffalo, but it was the Chiefs' first loss. That's what it was. The Chiefs' first loss of the year.
I like Buffalo here, but it's hard for me to bet against Kansas City because I do think the refs really have something out for.
It's so clear. Even
It's
Troy
crazy.
Aikman was getting upset about it.
It's insane. So also, if Taylor Swift is there, it's a no-brainer. Kansas City's winning the game. Like,
Was she
every
there
time
this week? She
there's
was
like
with
a
Caitlin Clark. She was with Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, there's a stat where if Taylor Swift is there, I think they're like 18-1 or some random stat. I don't know what it is. I have
She's
to
not
look it up.
performing. Where else would she be for the AFC Championship?
Listen, if she's not there, I'm just saying if she's
She'll
not there,
be there. You're telling me she'll be there, and you're telling me bet on the Chiefs.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I would bet on the Chiefs.
What's the current line? 1.5?
I saw 1.5 today. I mean, I imagine it could flip, but it could go. I don't think it's going to go to a pick'em because I think they want it by 1 because weird stuff's been happening. Like the last game, there was like a safety, and then weird stuff could
Weird
happen in
stuff.
this cold.
I don't think it's going to flip for the Bills to be favorites. I think the Chiefs stay favorites at home. I know they're not winning in like exciting ways. And honestly, the Bills and Ravens both have a better offense this year than the Chiefs, but it's Mahomes and Kelsey at home. Like, I can't imagine betting against that. And I think Josh might win. And I still have a hard time betting against Mahomes at home.
I just think if the refs are in play and the strings are being pulled, they want Philly, Kansas City. Right? They don't want Kansas
Didn't
City,
we just
Washington.
get Philly, Kansas City 2 years ago, and it wasn't that fun?
I think Jalen Hurts, he kind of sucks the energy out of everything. He's never fun. I'd rather have Washington there and either
That's
Buffalo
fun.
or Kansas City. Yeah.
Honestly, Bills, Commanders,
That'd be
nobody
fun.
circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. This is like 1990 Super Bowl stuff. Chris Berman will love that. I would love a Bills Commanders with the 4 teams we have. I have Chiefs fatigue, Mike. I was just unpacking this weekend. I
Did you
have
get
the
your
Travis
jersey?
Kelce jersey in the
Yeah.
closet. I'm not trying to pull it out. If it's
What?
Bills Commanders, I'm okay with it.
I'm getting mine ready. I'm dusting it off. I might have to just buy the Kansas City. This time last year, I was buying Kansas City prep, like decoration for the room because I knew they were going to win.
You were ahead of the AFC Championship game, and it all worked out. You're handing out jerseys at your party. I'll miss that. You're probably not having a Super Bowl party this year in a few weeks.
I don't know. I
Where are you guys
talked-
watching at? Do we know yet?
I want to have a Super Bowl party here because James, he has to go to bed early, so it's kind
Yeah.
of tough. So it'd be nice if we're here, we can put him in bed, still watch the game.
So start ordering more Chief stuff unless you saved it from last year. It takes
Maybe I'll
teams,
just-
it takes a while to get here.
It does take a long time. Maybe I'll order some Washington stuff. Maybe switch it up a little. Maybe like have a Jaden Daniels jersey. That'd be nice, right?
And we are conspiracy theory people. Of course, it's a red logo for the Super Bowl.
With
of
green,
course, Commanders, Chiefs coming in.
But there's a green in there, isn't it? Red and
I thought it was like mostly red, like 80% red. Who's the green? The Eagles?
it would be the Eagles. Yeah.
I think the Commanders are winning.
All right, we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, good show. Check out the sportshangover.com. Also, don't forget to click the link if you want some Magic Mine, TSH Jan. You can get it. Link in bio right down here. It's everywhere. We're posting this. 45% off. Yeah, check us out. Follow us on YouTube at the Sports Hangover. Follow us on Substack if you want to chat with us, comment on the show. That's a great place. We check it out.
Mike, last night TikTok was down, or the night before, Substack was the most downloaded app in the U.S. for a minute. Plus, we're back on TikTok. So the Sports Hangover does exist on TikTok. Some of my rants get so many clicks by 49ers fans specifically.
People really love to say, we don't know ball. It's like, dude, we are
Why do
recording.
they all think that?
We're recording this live and they're thinking we can like think back to when like they were mad that you said Buffalo and Ravens have never played before and they did play. They
saw one time they played.
commented on it multiple times saying you don't know ball, dude. Listen, we're recording live. Like sometimes I forget names of random people because we're just, we're doing this live. So
It's the
tough.
takes and the bets to really listen to, not the facts that might not be true.
The facts don't matter here. All right, good show. See you.